remember this time last year, well, February time, Prince Harry dashed across halfway around the world to come and visit, of course, his father, His Majesty the King, upon the announcement that his father was suffering from cancer. It shocked the world, and Harry, for a brief moment, seemingly clicked into gear. Of course, the negativities then went around him by basically saying people were hoping to get something out of it so that he could report back, as he had done, of course, with our late monarch when he popped in to see her on his way back from the Invictus Games in Germany, and then seemingly dashed over to NBC to say that he was checking to see that there were right people around her. You understand how this works. Moving forward, of course, according to the story, he either had 45 minutes or 15 minutes or even 10 minutes with his father because, as I told you, Queen Camilla did not want any stress attributed to His Majesty the King. And you can understand that. That's simply because when anybody's going through a difficult disease like that and having treatment, stress has to be kept to a low key. You have enough, don't you, right? I mean, you're always thinking about it, whatever people say. It's only in those brief respite moments that you can have normality. That's why I believe His Majesty the King has ploughed ahead with so much of his own independence and carrying on working. But now it looks like Prince Harry once again will have the palace doors firmly closed in his face when he comes back over in the early part of 2025. Why though? Let me explain. Good to see you today. Thank you so much for your time. It's lovely to have your company. And yes, it's a difficult thing, isn't it? Family feuds, friends, we've all got them. And at this time of year, we're all told, aren't we, to forgive and forget and move on. But it is difficult when you've had big fallouts. I would suggest that His Majesty the King doesn't have too much of a problem with Prince Harry, but with his troublesome, meddlesome wife, Meghan Markle, who's literally working him, as I say, like a Vents dummy behind the back. You can understand why he gets very angry. But moving forward, the problem now that His Majesty the King has is simply Harry himself. And this is simply all down to the fact that, as we know, Harry's now undertaking a very difficult legal case in His Majesty's courts with regards to a phone hacking crisis and, more importantly, what happens now. Now, as you can understand, Prince Harry has been told that he's not allowed to mix with anybody or discuss the case behind the scenes. This is the, indelicacies of what happens. Now, as we know, Prince Harry very much tried to secure people to remind him, allegedly, what had gone on before. But nobody really was willing to help. So Harry's having to rely on his own rather fuddled memory. And I say that not with unkindness, but as you saw him last time around, he wasn't particularly, well, in full, grip of the faculties of what he was supposed to be saying. Basically saying, I don't know, you don't know, you ask them, you tell me. That doesn't work in the royal courts of justice, as he's going to find out. And that's part of the reason why Harry, even if he wanted, now could not see His Majesty the King, or indeed any senior member of the British monarchy, or indeed stay at a royal palace, because he could jeopardise himself simply by having a conversation. And His Majesty the King, as I told you, had already advised Prince Harry very sternly to stay away from this particular course. And as we know, his elder brother, His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, Prince William, privately settled and then donated most of the money to Prince Harry's Invictus Games, something that Harry failed to mention on, of course, interviews going forward. So for now, when Harry does return back here to the United Kingdom, he will find himself feeling very much frozen out, but this time not because of his own family, but simply because of the courts of law that he's now entered into. And according to a source, Harry's feeling very jittery and nervous and mightily concerned about his forthcoming appearance. But apparently also, Meghan Markle is guiding him on exactly how he should perform in the box if he's caught. Now that's bound to go well, right? Neil Sean, Kensington, London.